in these situations where people were, whistleblowers were mobbed, were there existing policies that were supposed to protect the whistleblowers?
Yeah, it's standard. I mean, most organizations, and particularly public sector, but every not-for-profit I've been involved with, every, and I've been on several boards, they all have whistleblower policies. And since I've learned this, I kind of roll my eyes and go, okay, this will be interesting to see where it goes in terms of implementation. And there's legislation, yeah.
Wow.
So there's policies and then there's laws, yeah.
Excuse me, just make it clear.
Oh, see, I didn't realize that. And how exceptionally betraying this must feel to add to it all.
So,
You don't want to say something?
okay.
I apologise for interrupting. It was just that I did want to make the point that there is legislation that outlaws negative conduct towards whistleblowers and that affirms whistleblowing as a rightful thing to do.
Yeah, thank you. Now over to Lindsay, and then maybe we'll queue up an online question. Is someone logged in for that?
Good morning. Thank you all so much for your beautiful presentations. Dr. Ivanovna highlighted two things that really stuck out to me. One, that voice challenges abusers, and the second, identifying listening as an act of solidarity. So it's wonderful to listen to your story, Steve, or the embellished version of it. What I wanted to ask is, in your personal experience, does it start with the story that you tell yourself? So do any of you have the experience of contending with the institutional narrative, even internally, and having self-doubt about your moves, your conduct, anything that you did wrong along the way, and how did you overcome or really reclaim your internal story and your internal voice?
Steve, you want to
I think you two would give much better answers first, and then I'll talk if I have anything extra to say.
Okay, well, maybe we'll ask Maria first. You want to jump in, Maria? Did you hear the question?
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm here. I heard the question. Yes, thank you for this question. So in my opinion is that the persons or the institution who harms the target, let's say, they want you believe that you are on the wrong way, so you did something wrong. And I think we should preserve our analytical skills and self-critical consideration. So to be critical to ourselves, to consider and to analyze our conduct in the most critical way, but never forget that the target of the people who want to, their target is really to make you believe that you did something wrong. And even if you consider your behavior was not wrongful, or you did not so many wrong things, then sometimes it is possible that you start doubting yourself. In my case, it was exactly this. In the beginning, I was like, maybe I did something wrong. I started doubting every word I said, every step I made. Then the things crystallize at some point. Time passes by, step by step. You think and think again and again, and then things are crystallizing, and then you see the clear picture. And of course, it is very helpful to discuss the situation, your doubts, your thoughts with other people, trustees, let's say, people that you trust. Because in this very difficult situation of being mobbed, being a target, it is very difficult to organize your thoughts even alone. So you really need support. So that would be my, let's say, strategy or my answer, at least from my personal point of view, how I experience things.
I will read out a question from online from Elizabeth Splavak. The question is, can you describe the difference between a whistleblower and cancellation? perhaps because the instigator believes the target deserves it. Anonymous reporting, for example, would seem to exacerbate the problem. That's the question.
The difference between whistleblowing and what was the other word?
Cancellation.
Cancellation.
Yes.
Oh, okay, because, I mean, the way I would describe it, but I would invite others to jump in. For me, whistleblowing is when you see a contravention of a human resources or financial management policy or an ethical breach of some sort, right? And you raise it, in the public interest, right? For the sake of the institution. So you see, for example, somebody committing financial fraud, or not respecting a sort of human resources policy, whereas but you can end up being canceled as a retaliation tactic. But the whole cancel culture thing is. My view is this more about ideological differences, or someone who is saying something unpopular, or that's not part of the doctrine, established doctrine. You're challenging some kind of doctrine or intellectual issue, or taking a controversial position. So, and then you end up getting canceled. So that's I don't know if that's the right approach, but that's the way I would distinguish it.
And so, yes, I felt alone, and therefore I reached out to Ken, who was so polite to answer to my email. I was so desperate in the beginning, so I really found a lot of courage in his words and support. So thank you, Ken. Thank you. And also thank you, Chinli, for organizing this conference. It's so important. I'm really grateful to have met.
The comment is from Peter Wiley. He says that at the University of British Columbia, whistleblowing policy only applies to financial wrongdoing.
Oh, interesting.
And I will read the other question, the last question. The last question is from, the name is not there, but it's M. Ray 2. The question is, can mobbing happen in functional, healthy institutions?
Yeah, I suppose it can, but the leadership can put a stop to it. Normally would have the kind of culture where it would be unusual. Yeah, it wouldn't happen as much, maybe.
A comment from an anonymous attendee. It says that insecure bosses are often narcissistic people. Yeah. Their objective is not collaboration. The subordinate is like oxygen to the supervisor's ego. Yeah. And then there's a question, that was from an anonymous attendee. There is a question from Sandy Kurzen. In cases of whistleblowing, mobbing makes sense for the mobber. It is protecting the self, but I remain perplexed. What is in it for the mobbers? Is there a joy in solidarity?
I don't know. I guess it's the shame, the fear of shame, or of being made to look bad, right? For your organization might look bad, especially if it's the top leadership involved in something that's, unethical, illegal. Yeah, I mean, I think it's just one of those things of loss of face, right, of the institution. So when the top leadership is doing something corrupt, right? Tough situation. Thank you.
My question kind of loops back to the very first question we had here on whistleblowing legislation. And particularly in the US with the federal government, a lot of our whistleblowing legislation, it dictates the steps that a whistleblower has to go through, and that basically ends up setting more traps. If you take one little deviation outside of that process, well, now they have you on it. So I was just wondering if you or Dr. Yasmin or Jocelyn can speak to how legislation can further corral a whistleblower who then, out of frustration, goes outside of the little pen and maybe to the media, and then they invite the original firestorm upon them, because a lot of the whistleblowing legislation is institutionally protective.
Yeah. I don't know if we can answer that question succinctly. I think we should huddle during the break. And I think I'd also like to talk about management of anonymous complaints too, because I think there's principles of natural justice that are not followed, and there can be vindictive and fabricated anonymous complaints too. So we have to think about that as well. But we're at time. We're at 10:20 exactly, and I don't want to get into trouble from Ching Lee. So I want to thank all of the panelists and all of the people online and in the room here. And we are taking how long a break here? Until 10:40 a.m. Eastern time. So a 20-minute break, and look forward to the next session. Thanks, everyone.